York shooting shots, they just want me to fade. But my game made when I'm getting buckets today. Crossover, pull up, bet you fall for the hezzy. Game 7, prime time is butterflies on your belly. Now can you do it? Folding under the pressure, boy, can you do it? If you going, show 'em who better. Don't let the game slip and don't get caught in the lights. Crown me, yeah, Jordan taking off on the
Baby,
flight.
give me all the rings right now, we the champions. We the champions. I do my thing right now and it can't be done. They said it can't be done. Give me all the rings right now, we the champions. We the champions. I do my thing right now and it can't be done. They said it can't be done.
Yes, sir. What's going on, man? It's your boy AB, man. We back at it again with another installment right here at Open Gym Network, man. And this isn't going to be a too chipper one. I'm gonna try to keep it as light as possible, man. But obviously, we know this episode is gonna be a little bit, tough, a little bit disheartening, disappointed. But we're gonna hop right into it, man. We still gonna have a good time, and I appreciate you guys stepping in the gym with me one more time, man. Coming here, watching and really just enjoying the ride with me as we go through all these games and playoffs and different scenarios, and just everything that's going on in the sports and entertainment and sports culture world, man. So we just gonna hop right into it, man. Of course, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you share. Tell everybody where we at, man. Let's have a ball. All right, so we have the NBA playoffs going on right now. Let's start here, whereas the first two rounds have finished, and during those situations, we've had some coach firings, obviously, Budenholzer down in Milwaukee with Giannis and those guys. And then you had Monty Williams out in Phoenix with KD, Devin Booker, and CP3. What leads me to the latest news, as we all know, since losing in Game 7, the Philadelphia 76ers have parted ways with head coach Doc Rivers. Before we even dive into the Sixers and that debacle that happened, I wanted to just touch on a small portion of when it comes to this debate and this conversation that's going on right now when it comes to head coaches and their firings. There are fair ones. There are unbelievable ones, or more so why would you type of firings, and then the ones that are just rightfully so. And we have all those cases within this scenario where you had Mike Budenholzer, where it was just should they? He just won a championship 2 years ago. Then you have the Monty Williams, who was fired, where it's just wow, why would you fire him? You traded their whole bench away for 20 plus games of Kevin Durant, and you lose in the playoffs, and you fired a man without really giving him a chance to right the ship, get a full offseason with him being there. And then you have Doc, as of late, who's been fired, where it was more so of that was probably more of a guaranteed or understood thing that was going to happen this season. Obviously, anything short of not only getting there but winning a championship, Doc was going to be fired. So that was something that was just written on the wall. So I just want to have that discussion a little bit, where it's I understand the discussion that goes on, because there are cases where it's Monty Williams, I feel like it's getting an unfair shake within this situation. I mean, you just got Kevin Durant. CP3 is injured once again in the playoffs, and it's never something he can come back from. He's always just gone for the rest of the series, whatever series that is. And you traded away the whole bench, essentially, and only two guys was able to do much. So you don't give this man a chance to have a full offseason, get some pieces, get some players around this team to build and let them, take another crack at it and shoot their shot next year at the championship. You got Budenholzer in Milwaukee, where it was just like, personally, I felt like he survived being fired previously because they went to a championship and won. So for me personally, that's not necessarily a surprise or too bad. Essentially, do I think he's a good coach in the NBA? Absolutely. I just felt like that was just a situation where it was just like purgatory, where it was just like they met at a rule where it's just like, we can't go any further with you. And then you have Doc Rivers, where it's just like, we all knew that was going to happen, but I understand the discussion that goes on when it comes to that, because who has to take onus in all this is these owners, these leadership groups. You construct these teams, you make these moves, and you do certain things and expect coaches to pull rabbits out of their behinds. In the case of Monty Williams, where you have your two best bench players in Markel Bridges and Cam Johnson, who's traded away, and the boatload of picks as well, traded away for Kevin Durant, rightfully so. This is Kevin Durant now we're talking about, so I understand it. But you sit there and trade them away and expect them to win, and Kevin Durant only played 20-plus games with the team, not even a full season, not even a half of season with these guys. So you fire him right after that, and then not only that, CP3 once again is hurt in the playoffs. Like that's not a fair shake that I feel like he's getting with that when it comes to that. So there's definitely some ownership and some responsibility that these owners have to go through, because like you can't keep letting these owners keep getting off the hook. I mean, granted, the owners, GMs, presidents, all those things, you can't do much because they are the bosses. You can't fire the boss essentially like that. But it's just like it's still unfair, And then now you have a team like that, and they're about to bring in another coach, and they possibly do well, and it looks like Monty didn't know what he was doing, essentially like that, which I don't agree with. Which leads me to Doc Rivers on the flip side of things. About to get into that whole situation when it comes to the Sixers. Doc Rivers, obviously, they parted ways with him, I think, a day after the game. He wrote a nice little farewell letter to the city and things of that nature, which is real nice. I don't not appreciate what he's done, because he's better than what we had, but at the same time wasn't the biggest supporter of Doc once coming into to the team, to the Sixers. So I already had my, I'd rather go another way. But they stuck with him here 3 years, playoffs 3 years, knocked out all 3 years in the second round. Which gets me to the elephant in the room. The Philadelphia 76ers, and specifically Joel Embiid, your 2023 MVP, and James Harden, your Hall of Famer, top 75 NBA player all time. Game 7 was a complete debacle. So just looking at some raw numbers here. You had Joel Embiid that played 38 minutes, James Harden that played 41 minutes. Joel Embiid ended the game with 15 points. James Harden ended the game with 9 points. We are talking about a Game 7. Game 7. Just get that, dude. We're talking about a Game 7. This is for all the marbles. This is for your punching your ticket, control your own destiny, make it to the Eastern Conference Finals finally. And let's rewind just a little bit. Even get into that. Game 6, when the previous game you go to Boston in Game 5 and completely dismantle them, go up 3-2, and you have a chance to close it out. Like, this is in your hands. You have a chance to close it out. win this series and move on and face the Heat. No, you don't want to do that. You have a great game for 3 quarters, and the fourth quarter you completely melt down. Jason Tatum hits 4 threes in a row. You have confusion. You had Joel indecisive. You had uh, 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 James Harden just like running from the ball, like just absolutely running the ball. And I know y'all gonna say, "Oh, you can't put James Harden in this too much." It's all on Embiid, which he's the superstar. It is a huge amount, and I'm gonna get to Joel Embiid, but James Harden is not gonna escape from this as well. James Harden, he won us 2 games. We will probably get swept. I don't care. I do not care. James Harden, when it mattered most, Game 6 and Game 7, did absolutely nothing. I believe it's a stat that said the 2 games, obviously, that they won, he had the great games, the game winners, 40 points, stuff like that. The rest of the 5 games, and specifically the fourth quarter, the last 2 games, 6 and 7, in the fourth quarter, James Harden has 3 points. 3 points. Game 6, Game 7, in the fourth quarter, James Harden has a total of 3 points. That's not why we brought you here. Yes, I know you're a point guard. You facilitate, things of that nature. But come on, yo. Come on, come. I mean, this is who James Harden is. We tried to tell you that. I understand, but are you ever going to eventually just say, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna do this." You're not getting the foul calls. No, you aren't as explosive anymore. But that doesn't stop you from shooting the ball. You have 9 points in 41 minutes in Game 7. 9 points in 41 minutes in Game 7. That is completely and utterly unacceptable. But what Stephen A. Smith said, he should shave his beard and go into witness protectors or make sure nobody can notice him, because it's completely embarrassing. This team completely embarrassed themselves on national TV, where it was literally the only game on TV that day at 3:30 on a Sunday afternoon, and you go out there and you get your behinds whooped by 20-plus points. In a Game 7, do or die, and you only lost it in 1 quarter. It was tied in the third quarter, 55-55, and you proceeded to let them score the ball continuously. And granted, Jason Tatum he was piss poor for the first 6 games, minus the one, the ending of the. So essentially, in 5 quarters, the fourth quarter in Game 6 and the 4 quarters in Game 7 was the only time Jason Tatum actually did anything of substance for the Celtics. And you let this man go off like that. And granted, he had a great 5 quarters. I mean, he had 51 in the freaking Game 7, and he's hit 4 threes in a row in Game 6 to go on and win that. So it's like he had a moment, but you had them on the ropes. You had them home. You had them on their heels. You had them worried. Al Horford, egghead behind, didn't know what to do, and B just literally abused him the game before in Game 6, and you go out there and you fold like that, and then knowing you fold like that in Game 6, you go into Game 7, and we all go into it, and granted as fans, and it's just a fan, we talked ourselves because essentially we're not supposed to win that. Game 7 at home for the home team, that's who's supposed to win that game. So we talked ourselves into being able to do it because overall the teams were evenly matched, or we were a better team. Essentially, you can make that argument overall. But you first fold in Game 6, and then you proceed to play worse the next game when you know literally the next game it's done. It's over. It's finished. This is it. If we don't win this, we are going home. Pack your bags. We off to Cancun. Shaq, Kenny, Chuck, Ernie, we on our way. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is just like, what's going on with this team? What is going on with this team? Mentally weak, mental lapses down the stretch, scared, shying away, disappearing. And I ain't talking about the role players. I'm talking about the stars. The stars. PJ Tucker gave you 11 points in the first quarter, hit 3 threes. Tyrese Maxey gave you what he can give you. Played 42 minutes. I mean, he gave you 17 points. Tobias Harris, 19 points, played 40 minutes, was playing stellar defense. The role players did their part. That first half of that game, the role players came and they did their part. They did their part. You really can't ask much more for that. And defended the rest of the game. It was time for our stars to the two stars that battle with these Wolves, which was definitely a concern going into it, but obviously it had the hope of maybe, just getting over the maturing, maybe, push things over the top. Did not show up. Did not show up. And that is a shame. That is embarrassing. They should be ashamed of themselves. They should be embarrassed. And then let's get to the big man, the superstar, the MVP, Joel Embiid. And anyone that knows me know I'm a big fan of Joel Embiid. Huge fan of Joel Embiid. We could literally sit here and argue that top 3, top 2 player in the NBA, skill-wise, only rivals to Kevin Durant when it comes to being 7 foot and skilled the way they are. But out the window. As of right now, out the window. Because there's no way we can give you all these accolades and things. And let me preface this before you think I'm just being reactionary and emotional. This isn't a situation where I think he's trash, where I think he's not skilled, where I think he still isn't one of the best players in the NBA, that he's not a top 5 at minimum player in the NBA. This isn't that. So let's be smart about what we think about when we think about Joel Embiid. Let's be smart about that. The man is an amazing talent. He doesn't lack the skill. He lacks the mental capacity to be able to push a team and lift a team up and over the hump to get them to an NBA Finals, where another year has come with the number 1 seed in the NBA and the Eastern Conference. The Milwaukee Bucks got bounced in the first round to an 8th seed. Boom, they're done. So now you have the Heat and Knicks play. Heat beat the Knicks, so you have the Heat waiting for in the Eastern Conference Final. So your only hurdle, your only obstacle was the number 2 team in the East, the Boston Celtics. Beat that team, your chance is great to not only get to the finals, potentially win it. Because now on the other side of things, you have the Lakers who beat Golden State, the defending champs. You have the Nuggets who just beat the Phoenix Suns. 2 teams that whoever one of them win, not that there'll be an easy out, are very beatable. As it's shown all year, the West was not a juggernaut of a conference. Point to that is the Nuggets had the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. The Sixers had the number 3 seed in the Eastern Conference, and their record was better than theirs. Another golden opportunity squandered by only this. Your mind, your mental makeup. And we all love the moment when PJ Tucker, gave Joel Embiid an earful, letting him know who he is to go ahead and do what he got to do in the other earlier game in the series. But why does your superstar has to get an earful from PJ Tucker? Not that he can't say anything. Not that at times you don't need a word. But if PJ Tucker can sit there and know that literally you're dwindling and you're just like shying away and not, that's an issue. That is an incomplete issue now. It's no way. I know Doc has been fired, but we've been through, what is that? Brad Brown, Doc Rivers. So we've been through 2 coaches now. And the result is the same. And I know Doc is not perfect, but I can sit here and tell you that this year Doc has done a good job. Period. Even in the playoffs, he's done a good job. He's adjusted. He's even listened to the fans, playing Paul Reed. Not the all bench lineup, shortening the rotation, putting in Daniel House, different things. Not perfect. He made mistakes as well. Like, no one's perfect. But for the standards of who Doc Rivers was, he's had a good season this year. And it's the easy part to get rid of him. Obviously, a coaching change. It's the new NBA. The coach will go before the player. Stuff like that. So for him to have a good year and still the same result, you have to sit here and recognize and realize that it's the big guy. When is the big guy going to finally figure it out? And if it's not going to be him, who can this team get to pair with him to either lift him to be able to lift or just take the reins when it comes to late in the game? Because obviously James Harden, as great of a talent he is, led the league in assists this year. He isn't that Harden that obviously we needed in this moment. Which leads me to my next point when it comes to this offseason with the Sixers. What to do? I had discussions about this. And I'm going to start here because people don't want to talk about it. And I get it because I subscribe to the latter. But this is a time where, not that you do it, because like I said, I'm not doing it right now. But Daryl has to think about just the possibilities of moving Joel Embiid. Again, let me say it before y'all even start going off. I'm not doing it. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. But they should have a discussion. Absolutely. Because we're talking about what, maybe another 2 years? And I'm not talking about the whole health situation. I'm not worried about that. I'm just talking about in general, how long do you want to run this back, keep running it back and getting the same result? The Sixers fans right now, and it sucks so bad, we are in purgatory. That is my one reason why they should even be, at least have the thought of like exploring the avenues, like what can we get? What's the return? X, Y, and Z. Who do we start over with? Because we are legit in purgatory, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks. We put our heart and soul into these games. We put our feelings and emotions on the line for these guys, and they go out there and display that and want us to be okay with it. No way, no how. Now you got James Harden rumors. He might want to go to Phoenix. Houston is always an option. He lives there. He got businesses there. X, Y, and Z. At this point, whatever you do, boss. Whatever you want to do. Is it just, would I take him back? Absolutely. But do I want him back on 3-4 years, $200 million? Hell no. Hell no. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. We have to make some changes. We gotta figure some things out, who to bring in. There's gonna be some players that are available. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a sad time in the city of Philadelphia. Shoot, this loss this year is worse than the freaking Kawhi bounce shot. Because like the Sixers didn't even give the fans the opportunity to enjoy the game. If you're telling me it went down to the wire and Jason Tatum came down and hit a step back three to win the game, I would be pissed. I would be upset. Abso-freaking-lutely. But I knew they didn't even fight. Once they took off, they didn't even swing back. They was like Ryan Garcia. He got hit. We got hit in the gut. Bang. He said, "Oh wait, hold up, wait a minute. Ow, that hurt. Wait a minute. You just hit me. What was that you hit me with?" Like they just folded. They gave up. Completely gave up. Completely gave up. Completely gave up. And that is unacceptable. That is completely and utterly unacceptable. Something has to change. Something has to be fixed. At this point, don't have a lot of resources. Don't have no draft picks. When you acquire James Harden, like it's a lot of different things. So obviously, free agency is going to be a big thing. Maybe smaller trades. Maybe the bench gotta be like it's. This is what the Sixers just done. The best chance we probably had in the last 3 years. This is what they do, squander it away like that. It's completely unacceptable and embarrassing, essentially. So anything that they get, backlash or comments or whatever it is, it's deservedly so, because there's no way you can sit there and defend what has happened and what has transpired within these playoffs. Sweeping the Nets, going to the next round, still in game 1, lose the next 2, but then when B feels a little better, y'all go down there and you guys win it on a game winner. Then the next game go and just completely rout them, beat them by almost 20, and then the last 2 games do that. Completely and utterly unacceptable. I've gotten better as the days gone by, because I've just, it is what it is. I went into the season like they're going to have to show me anyway that they're ready for the next level. Did I, build a little bit of a trust and a, affection for this team? Because rightfully so, they showed you, games that they would have lost in the past. They won. They won this year, so it showed that they have the potential to do the things that need to be done to win a championship. But then there go Reds, his ugly head right again, right on cue. Game 7, don't even swing back. Don't even swing back. Even watching the game, just early on, talking to myself like, they're going to get it. They're going, because they started out slow. I think Joel Embiid probably had 5 points actually at the end of first quarter. Like, it was bad all around, man. The Sixers completely squandered a chance, and whatever comes with it, comes with it. So now we have the Lakers against the Nuggets, and we have the Heat against the Celtics. Don't have no real rooting interest in it. Obviously, LeBron James is one of my favorite players ever. So there's something there. Jimmy is a good guy as well. So I'm just, I'm a basketball head, so I'm a just go out there and enjoy the product, essentially. But damn, Sixers. Damn. Come on. Come on, man. Come. That's my time, man. I just had to get that out and express that because things got to change and time is running out. James Harden, 33 years old. Most likely he'll be signing back here. I don't believe in all the different things that's going on, thinking he's going to go somewhere else. Obviously, I think it's just a money play with all the rumors and stuff. And if he does leave, then more power to you. We all know Tobias is probably be leaving this year as well. So you got that money that's freed up. You know, Maxi's still here, young. Not an advocate of building around Maxi, but I mean, again, still here, young. You know, some role players. Anthony Melton still here, 24 years old. Jalen Daniels. You know, another one is 23, 24. So you have some nice little young players that's going to be here, but this team has to figure it out. They have to figure it out. It's no other option. Before I get out of here, last but not least, the coaching hires and interviews that's about to go on. Obviously, it's been reported and confirmed that Budenholzer, Monty Williams, Sam Cassell, Mike D'Antoni, and Nick Nurse are candidates for the Sixers opening head coaching position vacancy. So definitely, if I had to put an order on there of who necessarily, I would, if I go 1, 2, 3, as far as who I want the most to the least, I would probably lean right now. As of right now, I'll go Monty, Nurse, Sam Cassell, Budenholzer. That's just right now, just a knee jerk. And the only reason why Sam Cassell, because I know the Sam Cassell people are going to be commenting why he isn't higher. I'm just looking at the state of the team and where they're at. Now, Sam has been there. Obviously, he knows the team. Curious as to what system he runs. Obviously, he's been under Doc. Is he running where Doc was? Things of that nature. And he's a new head coach. He's never been a head coach before, ever. So that goes into it. Again, I'm just a Monty fan because we had Monty Williams. I wanted him to be the coach besides Doc Rivers. Between him and then there was Adoku as well, who both was on the staff previously. So he's probably my number one. I like Nick Nurse. Want to see what he can do with this team. I like how he coaches, how he adjusts to the game. System, looking at the Raptors, how they run their system and how many threes they get up, where they operate from, things of that nature. So, yeah, like I said, Sam is right there. Budenholzer, I mean, he's one. I'm not the biggest fan of Budenholzer. That's why I have Sam in front of him, because there is something to just that fresh, new coach as well that can spark. I obviously, as you can see down in Boston, he was just a coach on the staff with Udoka, and then now they're going to the Eastern Conference Finals. So that's my time. Just wanted to, talk about that, explain my thoughts, where I felt, how I felt about this team, and going forward. It's a lot of work that's going to be done, and Joel Embiid got to be better. He has to be better. And I'm not talking about regular season. He can do all the things, scoring title, all that stuff as well. I'm so happy he got his MVP. I'm so happy. He should have won it last year as well. So I'm so happy. But at the same time, when it counts the most, he continues to do the same thing. And it has to change. It has to change. It has to change. That's my time, man. This is your boy AB, and this is the Open Gym Network, man. And until next time, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, man. We here all playoff long, back for more, coming soon, man. Look out for all the good content, man. It's your boy AB. Once again, it's Open Gym Network. Yes, sir.